Well, a very good afternoon, evening, morning, daytime, wherever you're listening from, to all of our listeners. Hi, Erica.
Hi, George. Welcome to Macabre and Company.
Episode, we don't know. How many is this?
We're not sure.
We're not sure.
I want to
But
say, I think it's 20, 21, 20.
episode 21 or 20. Here at Macabre and Company, we like to delve into the grim, the gruesome, the macabre, and all right spooky, fact,
Yeah.
fiction, and lots more. To our Patreon listeners, tune in. We've got some great extra bonus features on there. We just recorded a pre-brief, debrief. And yeah, today we
We
are going
sure
to be
did.
diving into something pretty grim, but
Oh
something
my
that's
gosh, I
going to
cannot
really
wait.
excite everyone. Are you ready to learn about this week's subject, Erica?
I am on the edge of my seat. Let's go.
Now, we've all heard of the undead in pop culture. Mindless
Mhm.
creatures rising from the grave, craving human flesh. But what if I told you
Yum.
that the real world holds something equally, if not more horrifying?
Dun dun dun.
In the natural world, there are insects that fall victim to a parasitic fate so gruesome it might make you rethink the next fly that buzzes by your ear. Tonight, we're going to uncover the science behind the zombie bugs. Creatures,
Zombie bugs.
zombie bugs. We're going to explore their horrific behaviors and examine the twisted experiments that reveal just how alive, in quotation marks, these really are. So buckle up, baby. It's going to be a gross one.
Oh,
Okay, so
ew,
I
I'm so
want to
excited.
premise this with um one of the biggest things that Ian and I have like not in common, right? One of the biggest disagreements in our life is just mushrooms. I am not a mushroom person. I don't like them in my food.
Mm.
I've just always had this weird thing about mushrooms, right? Like they're odd to me, like fungus is odd to me. Now I understand how magical like it is, like mushrooms and the way they grow and the science behind fungus and all that, right? I get it. It's pretty crazy.
I love mushrooms, and so does Rowan, but Rowan's sister does not like mushrooms. So I feel that we have a non-mushroom lover over here as well.
So I read the list one time that if you eat one mushroom, the first time you ever eat a mushroom, that mushroom is in your body forever. Like, so you know how they grow,
That
like,
sounds made up.
so when you're in like the jungle, right, and the mushrooms are on the floor, those like it just goes on forever. They're all attached and they can like they use like electric waves and stuff to talk to each other, but it's like one big mushroom. Does that make sense?
The mushroom hive mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, like the Borg on Star Trek. And I read
Oh,
once that like if you eat one, then you always have mushroom spores in your body, like they're just there. But obviously, people that eat
okay.
mushrooms do. Anyway, that might not be a fact, but I read that, and I just find them creepy.
Um, I'm okay with it. I'm leaning into it. I'm okay with being part mushroom. Continue.
You are part mushroom. You're a pretty mushroom. Okay, so
Thanks, Diva.
let's start in the damp, humid jungles of the Amazon rainforest, where the infamous, I'm going to say this correctly, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. We're going to put that up here, boop, 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 on the screen and in the comments, wherever you're reading, listening, we're going to put the
Yeah.
spelling on there.
Unilateralis.
We're
That's a
just
big
going to
word.
call him like the cordyceps for this.
Okay.
Easy. So the cordyceps fungus performs its grisly work on the floor of the Amazon rainforest. We're going to talk about a few different types of like mushrooms and bugs, zombies today. You might recognize the like this specific type of mushroom being mentioned in the TV show and the video game The Last of Us. Did you watch it on HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So good.
So in that series, that's a mutated version of the cordyceps. Like it's a like a mutated version of the fungus that takes over humans, but in the real world, there is a version of that, but it takes over insects, and it's been doing it for millions of years. Like scientists date this back like millions of years.
Whoa.
Yeah. So in the rainforests of Southeast Asia and parts of South America, the cordyceps fungus takes control of ants. It doesn't kill them. What it does basically, if they eat it, it hijacks their brains, and the infected ant is driven by the fungus. It climbs up plants, where it clamps its jaws to a leaf or a twig. And it's here when the fungus erupts from the ant's body. So basically, it gets like in its body, and then it tells this ant to climb the trees and the plants and get to a certain specific height. And then when it gets there, it erupts. Yeah.
Whoa.
So when it erupts out of
Ooh.
the body, it's growing and it releases spores that fall onto the floor. These spores will then infect other ants, starting the cycle all over again. This behavior, like weirdly, so this behavior has been scientifically calculated as well. Ants infected with Ophiocordyceps will climb, are you ready for this? 25 centimeters
Hmm.
above the forest floor before dying. So they climb to 25 centimeters and then they die, like all at the same height.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. So they just know how to climb and then poof.
Yeah, it's like real world information going from the mushroom to the ant. That's fucking
Wow.
creepy.
That's
So the
so creepy.
Yeah, this fungus specifically has evolved to manipulate its host with terrifying precision, ensuring that its spores spread far and wide. So I guess essentially 25 scientists have said this 25 centimeters off the rainforest floor is good because it's not too wet there. Like they're away from the other dangers of the forest floor, but they're also like not too high up where the leaves and the bush is gonna like catch the spores, like and kind of like obstruct it from landing on the ground. They're like, this is
Yeah.
like the perfect height. Yeah. And it's not just ants that are controlled by parasites and stuff. So there's some wasps also. Take this
Oh my
specific type
gosh.
of
Wasps
parasitic
do not
wasp.
need to be zombies.
I know, listen to this
Sorry.
one, but these wasps are like
Sorry.
crazy. They're like mind control. We're going to do a little mind control theory here. So there's this type of wasp that's found in Europe, parasitic wasp. Listen, those in Europe that think you don't have scary bugs there and you think you're safe, you're not safe. There's parasitic wasps there.
Nope.
I'm also not a
That's,
wasp person. I think our listeners, and you know this, Erica, about me, and I think people will be getting this. I'm pretty terrified of bugs. Things that crawl, things that are alive, things that can bite me. It doesn't excite me. So the wasp,
I mean, I don't think anyone's a wasp person though. Like nobody's like, yay, let me hang out with the wasps.
I know, I think there must be people. There must be wasp people. I mean,
Comment below if you know a wasp person. Bee
yeah.
people. I'm a bee person. I love
Oh, I
bees.
love
They do
bees
great
too. I
work.
mean, I don't particularly like them on
Wasps,
me.
nah.
No. Wasps just seem
We
mean.
have
Like
really
bees have a
pretty,
purpose.
yeah. There's really pretty bees here. Our local bee is called the blue banded bee, and they have instead of like the yellow bumblebees are like yellowy orangey.
Yeah.
They're blue.
Oh, cute.
They're really cute.
God, that's so Australian. You know what? We're gonna have blue bees.
Yep.
Anyway, back to the wasp. So this specific wasp has a horrifying method of reproduction. The wasp injects its venom into the abdomen of a spider, right? And then the venom doesn't kill the spiders. So these wasps hunt out
Oh
spiders.
my gosh.
They inject the spiders. They don't kill them. Instead, it rewires the spider's brain, turning it into a mindless web spinner. Think zombie Spider-Man.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So the spider, I mean, we love spiders. Erica loves spiders. I sounded
Love
like Donald
them.
Trump then, didn't I? I'm sorry. So instead, it rewires the spider's brain, and the spider, under the wasp's control, like constructs a very special web, one that will secure the wasp's larvae once it hatches. So once the spider finishes making the web, the wasp's larva, how do you say that? Larvae?
Larva.
Larva
Larva.
devours it alive. So the wasp larva devours the spider, consuming it from the inside out. The spider's brain is not its own, it's like a puppet of the wasp. So essentially, wasp stings the spider, sits and watches while the spider makes a nice new web. Then, once the web's done, the baby wasps inside eat the spider from the inside out, and then they live in that nest that the spider made for them.
Whoa.
Yeah, that is some like
That's
M&Co shit right there.
that's outrageous.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy,
I
huh?
can't believe that exists.
Like, so you've got this cute like wasp, and she's like flying around looking for a rich old spider to like have
Yeah.
sex with. He's gonna
Like,
build her a house. He's gonna like make a
yeah.
nice place for all her babies, and then her babies are gonna like eat him, and then there you go. She's got the inheritance.
Boom. I've got the web now,
Yeah.
bitch.
So in North American forests, there's like a true nightmare waiting for grasshoppers and crickets, right? Like we love a grasshopper, we love a cricket. They're pretty cute, right?
They're cute. They make a lot of noise, but they're cute.
Yeah, but I love that. It's relaxing noise. So I feel like they're good for the earth. Like they're good for our mental health.
Sure.
So there's a parasitic worm called the hairworm that invades the body of the insects. If you type in hairworm and like grasshopper or cricket on YouTube, you're gonna get some pretty weird videos.
Oh
So the
no.
hairworm invades the body of the insect, and once it's consumed enough of it, it forces the insect to jump into the water where it drowns.
What?
So this is a worm that climbs into another bug, takes over its brain. It tells it to jump into the water, it jumps into the nearest water, and it drowns itself. The parasite actually needs the water to complete its life cycle, and it will stop at nothing to make sure the host drowns so that it can get to the water.
Oh my goodness.
So the forest pools of temperature in like these regions have a specific temperature. You might witness it firsthand, like an insect once alive and full of will, like jumping into the water. Like you can see it happen. And then so sometimes I'm like, you know, when you're in the pool, and you've been in the pool at our place too, like sometimes I'm like, I'm always saving like bees. You like take the bee out and you put it on the
Mm,
side, and then it jumps back in the
yeah.
water. Maybe it's got a parasite in there telling it to do it.
Maybe that's what happened to the spider that just died in our house. We had a
Oh my
spider
God.
for everyone to listening that would like not get out of the sink and then out of the shower. Maybe, maybe that was the problem.
Maybe, yeah. It was trying to get there. And that wouldn't surprise me in like, because you guys live in like the jungle,
Yeah, we're in yeah.
in the bush.
Out in whoop whoop, as the Aussies would say.
In the what?
Out in whoop whoop.
The whoop whoop.
In whoop whoop is like far away.
Oh, okay. Well, you're in the whoop
And a
whoop.
yonk and a yonk is a really long time. It's
You've
like
been in the
I haven't been
womp
to
womp
whoop
for a
whoop in
yonk.
yonks. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done. You're
Oh.
Australian already.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about how these parasites actually do it. How do they perform this magic? How do they do that, right? Because what's stopping me jumping into your brain and making you do stuff? Like, it's not going to happen. So how can they do it?
Oh my gosh, that sounds so fun.
Oh my God, just for the day, you would have a blast
Yeah,
controlling your
I
brain for the
would.
day.
It'd be so fun.
So it all comes down to neurochemicals. These parasites release a specific chemical into their host that manipulates their behavior. David Hughes, who is a scientist at Penn State University, which is pretty funny because we've talked about Penn State Penitentiary. Whoa,
We
full circle.
have indeed.
So he documented this phenomenon in his research, and Hughes studied how cordyceps hijack the brain of its ants host. His experiments revealed that the fungus causes infected ants to climb plants and latch onto the leaf 25 centimeters off the ground precisely. These ants behave like programmed robots, with the fungus controlling every move, ensuring it's in the optimal position to release the spores, right? But it's all done by a specific neurochemical. So, in fact, Hughes found out that infected ants climb to the tops of trees and plants with incredible 90% success rate, locking their jaws
Wow.
on and doing it. 90% of them all got to the same level and all had successful respawns on behalf of their host. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So now we're not just talking about mindless zombies here, though. This is a highly evolved behavior. The wasps, fungi, and hairworms have spent millions of years fine-tuning their parasitic methods, turning their hosts into living vessels for reproduction. These parasitic relationships are complex, scientific, and deeply unsettling, Erica.
I am very unsettled.
Like, I'm terrified now even more of wasps. Like, if I see a wasp
Yeah.
in my house, no ways that going near me. Like, it's like,
Mm-mm.
near my dogs, you know?
It
How
could
do we know
infect
that
your
our dogs
brain.
aren't like already like zombie wasp dogs?
I'm pretty confident that yours aren't. They're too
I don't
cute
know.
looking.
Parker's
They're
pretty wild.
true.
Yeah. Okay, so what about the wider implications? Have you ever seen the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Yes.
So good. So, for our
So good.
listeners, if you haven't seen it, in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, we see alien organisms take over human bodies. But the true horror is that this is actually happening right now on Earth in the insect world. The Walking Dead shows us the horror of the infected. The real life is far worse because these zombies are real, right? They're living, breathing
Mm.
creatures that have lost control of their own minds and bodies, driven by something far more sinister than a virus or a parasite from another world. Because it's real.
It is real. It's terrifying.
I know. Okay, so let's talk about the this type of fly, right? So there's a type of fly. It's called the tachinid fly, Tachinid flies, right? Another nightmare in our insect world. They lay their eggs inside of the bodies of caterpillars. As their larvae grow, they eat the host from the inside out, very much like the wasp babies in the spider. These
Wow.
parasites don't simply feast on the caterpillar's organs, though. They slowly devour the soft tissues, ensuring the host stays alive just long enough to feed them. And yet the parasites are not mindless. The larvae, for example, injected venom into their host's brain, reprogramming it to build a web for the larvae's food. These parasites evolved specifically to make sure their hosts stay alive long enough to serve their needs, living creatures doomed to become food for something else. So there's purpose behind this. It's not just like they've not just evolved to like do that for food, they do it for all different types of things, whether that's reproduction, building a home, also food, to catch food. Like even like the wasps and the spider web, it's a great way of using the web the same way that a spider does, right? To catch its food.
Mm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
The science behind it is almost beyond belief. Parasites like these have involved incredibly complex and effective methods of mind control. The venom, the chemicals, precise manipulations of behavior, these are not random accidents, Erica. These are all strategies honed by millions of years of evolution, strategies designed to ensure the survival of the parasite no matter what the cost to the host. Now imagine being a grasshopper for a second, and I know that sounds super fun. Yeah,
Okay.
in fact,
I'm
I
in.
remember partying one time way back when I was a teenager in a club in like the 90s, don't judge. And I remember being on the dance floor thinking I was a grasshopper. I was
I
pretty
love it.
intoxicated, yeah. So imagine
I could be.
you could be any creature. Yeah. So imagine being a grasshopper, a spider, an ant. Imagine being alive but no longer in control of your body, your mind, or your will. Imagine knowing that your every move, every twitch, every desperate attempt to escape is controlled by something else. And in the end, you're nothing
Ooh.
more than a vessel for the parasite's reproduction. The true horror of the world of zombie bugs is not that they don't just exist in the realm of fiction, but they're out there, right? They're in the forests, in jungles, in our backyards around us, waiting for their next victim. And who's to say the parasites aren't already watching us, Erica, studying us,
I think
learning
they
how to
are.
control us? Probably. There's something out there waiting for us. What if like aliens are just
Absolutely.
like a hybrid of like a sentient being and a fungus or like a parasite?
It's funny you should say that because I last night was watching. Have you seen VHS Beyond?
No.
Oh, it's good. It's like it's in the series of the VHS movies.
Okay.
And the concept is that like the they found these videotapes, these VHS tapes that have all these details of alien encounters. And there's like kind of six mini stories about aliens taking over bodies or like doing alien things. I 100% recommend it. It's on Shutter. I don't know what
I
you
don't have
streamer
Shudder.
you
I
use
need
or
to get
have.
Shudder. I need to get Shudder. I just
Yeah.
have this thing when it comes to streaming platforms where I will only let myself get one if I remove another one because I have so freaking many.
You could log into mine. Shh, don't tell Shutter. Just kidding. You can't log into anything of mine ever. That would
Ever.
not be right.
Never.
No, no.
Well, so
Anyway, VHS
yeah,
Beyond, absolutely worth a watch.
got it. I'm gonna look it up. I'm sure I can find it here. I could probably buy it on Amazon actually. Anyway, so the next
100%.
time that you see a fly or a spider spinning its web, take a moment, Erica. What if that bug is looking at you, or you think it is? You're looking at it, but it's actually already dead. What if it's not its own mind? What if it's just a puppet in the hands of a parasitic master?
Oh my
I
gosh. Ooh,
know.
I Chills. That's so creepy.
Like, honestly, though, like, that's pretty gross. Also, it's
That's really
gross.
wild. It's wild to think. Like, I don't know. I think the zombification of things in our because we really anthropomorphize everything and we assign a lot of like I don't know intent to it and be like this person
Hmm.
is like you're trying to make a zombie. You're like there's a lot of malicious intent in them and this
Yeah.
the fact that it's nature that it's like this is just how this thing works is wild because the bugs aren't like maliciously doing it. That's just how they do things.
I mean, it's pretty malicious
Uh,
if you ask me. It's pretty selfish.
It does sound pretty malicious. I don't know. I'm trying not to assign human emotions to them, but it's pretty hard.
It's really hard, you know? Well, I urge all of our listeners, all of our watchers, all of our followers to um, check your check your sandwiches, check your food, check your fruit for parasite. I'm kidding. Don't get all paranoid like me. As a fly just
No.
flew and landed on my screen, they're listening.
Oh no. Okay, does
They're
it look like a
listening.
zombie?
No, it's a tiny little fly. It's gone.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, Erica, I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about zombie bugs.
I enjoyed it. I'm terrified. I have a lot of research to do around my house with any bugs I see.
I know. And honestly, like just Google it. Or if you're endlessly like me and you're endlessly scrolling through YouTube videos, like when you're in bed later, just Google zombie bugs and just see some of the weird behaviors of them because it's honestly pretty spooky. Because if you think about it, evolution is still happening. And what's to say that
Yeah,
something's not going to evolve and do the same thing to us? Or maybe I will be
100%.
able to evolve and be able to do it to you, and we can just take turns in like controlling each other's brains for the day.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. This was incredible. I feel like I talked over you a couple times there. I'm sorry about that. I think we have a small delay, although not
Oh
as bad as
no, I
usual.
didn't
So,
hear any of that here.
oh, okay. Well, we'll see in editing if that happens.
No, I think we're great.
Well, thank you for listening, friends. You can write us emails. Let us know what you think, where we should look for zombie bugs next at macabreandcompany@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram at Macabre and Company, a dot or not .com. Those ones are just Macabre and Company. You can sign up to our Patreon. We've got some fun friends in there, a nice little community. We do unboxings. We have little casual debriefs. We might be doing some watch alongs and listen alongs of podcasts and breaking it down
Yeah,
in there. Who knows? Maybe, and we'll be going on field trips and posting things in there. So, definitely Macabre and Company at Patreon is where you want to be.
yeah.
And as always, friends,
Stay spooky.
stay spooky. Cheers.